ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all who are listening to this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are in the 6th chapter, Dhyana Yoga, and we are looking a set of verses. So these verses are very direct instructions or methodology explained by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, put into words. So what is the way, what is the approach as far as controlling your mind or going into meditation? So what should be the case, what should be the prerequisite? How this mind, this is to be approach and control and discipline. So in the last class we saw this verse, the verse number 24th, which read as Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Tyaktva Sarvan Asheshatah Manasa Eva Indriya Gramam Viniyamya Samantatah. So this is the state of the mind, that this person has toiled hard, he has prepared a lot, that now when he has to enter into the meditation, that all such desire which gives rise to any kind of a resolve, he is able to give them up asheshatah, without any residue. So he has that grasp of mind. So when he is making it a resolve that I will go into meditation, I will sit on my asana and I will now control my mind. So he is ready to wipe out his mind, get rid of all such desires, which chitta is all the time throwing samskaras. Your mind is never it is never a blank page. Something or else is going on that canvas. And that person He has trained his mind like that. So there is only one thing which is not said here. Again, when we will see in the 25th verse, how is this possible? And what exactly, if suppose you are either thinking of good thought, you are thinking of suppose bad thought, very high thought, lofty thoughts, or ordinary mundane things, something or other, your mind is occupied. It is like a, suppose a screen, and something or else is happening on that screen. Okay. When you say like a screen, like of a TV, so to say, that screen is totally blank. So what is our question? Our first reaction to it would be whether your TV is working, whether it is dead, whether there is no electricity, whether that cable is unplugged. These are the responses. Because its natural state is to display. Many times you will see many old people and they are not able to move by themselves. So not all the time there is somebody to accompany him or her. What happens? One or the two things, either radio or some TV, it is playing on. So though that person is not much interested, but is sort of keeping company. It is happening, something is happening on that TV. Okay. So if that, when that person is sort of got adjusted to such kind of living, now when that TV is off, there is nothing on the screen. So what is the question? This person, though he is not interested in any kind of drama or whatever play is going on in the TV or the program, he is not much interested. But when it is off, he feels a kind of uneasy or discomfort, because it is not something which he has taken for granted, which is not the usual state. So why it is off? Why there is nothing on the screen? Now this question is faced by many when we think about meditation, and when we have to go and we have to try to understand this thing, that your faculty, that meditation is not thinking. Meditation is not thinking. Meditation is not pursuing an argument. Meditation is not a flood of emotion, like oh God, or whatever it may be. You are so kind, you are so beautiful, or something, or one or other, whatever his emotion. Meditation is not emotion, that flood of emotion. So wave of thoughts, or argumentation that I am not body, I am not mind, etc., etc., etc. It is neither that, either neither. So what is meditation? To form this concept of, to understand this concept of meditation itself, I would say it's an achievement. If one understand truly, it at least means only intellectually, forget about experiencing it. Only intellectually, what meditation is. It would be a great help, great progress in the path of on this progress towards meditation. If we do not understand, do not conceive, cannot make form proper dharana of this idea, what meditation is. If we are not able to, somebody has sent a child, his mother has sent that child to the market to buy something. Okay. So what happened? That child went with some money in his hand to buy a certain kind of a green or something. Okay. Maybe coriander. Okay. So whatever his language his mother is speaking, so she might have said to him, कोई धनिया बोल सकता है. कोई कोथिमीर बोल सकता है, कुछ whatever, something she has said. Now what happened? This child, when he is walking from his home, while reaching up to that spot, he is distracted by so many thoughts and ideas, and when he goes there to find out which spot or which shop he has to go, that shop from where his mother buys all her vegetables and all that, there are other so many people they are buying. So slowly he loses that idea what exactly his mother has told. And then shopkeeper asks, so what do you want? Now he is perplexed and he is not able to. So he says something, whether you want this and that, and then seeing that money, that he is guessing, shopkeeper is guessing. Probably your mother has asked for this. Now this fellow, he does not know what is coriander, what is kothimir. Even if he is given kadi patta or some other green, he will simply take it and come. Because he do not know what kothimir is like, or what some other green is like, what does he want? So many times the people in household, the woman in the household, she is very particular. Many times men are not. So some slants with, अरे तुम कड़ी पत्ता और पुदीना में तो फर्क नहीं कर सकते, तुम क्या घर चलाओगे? Do you get the idea? So this person, he is eating all the while, but does not know the difference between kadi patta and pudina, the mint leaves. Okay. So if we do not know particular thing what we want and what we are looking for, how we are going to have it? Even if I do not know what to ask for. So very important it is to form the correct idea of meditation, and in this, here many times meditation is explained in simple way. So aisa karo, like this, you close your eyes and breathe. Breathe dekho aisa, inside, outside it is going. So whether that is meditation, so think that you are healthy, think that you are all your elements have gone, etc. See, think that your light is filled in. Different kinds of things are told. What is meditation? That is the very precise question. 3 words. What is meditation? Whether thinking of light, whether having some imagination, that is meditation. What is meditation? This is important question to be asked. What state of mind is called meditation, can be termed as meditation? Breathing is meditation. Focusing on breathing in the meditation. What is the meditation sort of concentration? Alright, what sort of concentration? So okay, somebody you think like that, you are close your eyes, that you love a form of a god. Like suppose somebody loves Tirupati Balaji. Okay. So it is a very picturesque place and you are going to the hills, and like that you enter and you see that, etc. And you have that, as soon as you reach there and those doors are opened and you see that beautiful form of young Balaji, Venkateshwara, and you are mesmerized, etc. Or form of Shiva, Shakti, whatever. What is meditation? That kind of thought is whether it is meditation. So I can think of anything else then, whether it will be termed as meditation. If that is the idea of meditation, I can think of anything else. Some young college boy, young teenage boy, he might think of a boy or girl. He might pose such questions. Suppose I think of my friend like that, going to meet him, whether it will be termed as meditation. What is the answer? So this idea, and here now instructions are giving how to enter into meditation. But this very subtle and very core and very essence point and characteristic of that meditation, that is not explicit in these verses. That is not explicit. That is not very clearly put into words that this is meditation. Now We will see that. I will try to make this point clear. So, what meditation is, and why this idea is difficult. Why I gave that example, that here, because Bhagavan is saying your mind should be free of all whatsoever desires without any residue. That your senses are so disciplined, they are seated in their seat and they are not dynamic, they are not active, they are as if dead, they are as if they have ceased their functioning natural way of performing. That seeking into the world outside or within, seeking the sensory data, pressing it to the your mental stuff, that chitta, it compares with its repository, throw out again waves, your mind wraps it up, produces sankalpa vikalpa, buddhi decides, ego reacts. That is not happening. So what are we looking at? A state of meditation, it's some kind of dead zone. What are we looking at? This is not to be done, this should not happen, that should not happen. Everything is said negative. So what has to happen? That is the important question. What am I looking at? Do not go there. Do not seek this. This is not that, what you are looking for. Understood? What am I looking for? That is the question. So this point has to be very clearly understood. What we are looking for in meditation. So, after 24th verse, 25th verse, what does he say? And I will try to make that point explicit now. So, in 24th verse, it was said that your mind, that is completely gotten rid of all desires, asheshataha, without any residue. Your senses, they are all disciplined with the mind itself. I explained the significance of this statement. Why? What does it mean when it is said by mind itself? They are so disciplined. They are so much into that will that yogi has formed, that they have given their usual habits and they are in at full rest. Such a cooperation, such integrity, high level of integrity that individual has achieved. Viniyamya samantata, such a humility those senses have achieved. They have his mind, his will, his desire to meditate has made those senses humble. Viniyamya samantata, discipline. We can look Vinaya in this sense also, that humility. They have given up their natural restlessness, chanchalata. So, samantata in all respects. In all respects. So, and what then mind? There are no sensory data. There are no desires. Mind is clinging on to. And in the next verse it is said, Shanai Shanaihi Uparamed Buddhya Dhruti Gruhitaya Atma Samstham Manah Krutva Nakinchit Api Chintayet. Now here this verse come. So Shanai Shanaihi means slowly, gradually. And this is the method of meditation. Nothing by over enthusiasm, that you have to make a permanent effect. You have to, that elastic mind, you have to make it plastic. It must become its nature of meditation. It is not something you do, it is not performance. It is becoming its characteristic. So slowly, it is not your mind is doing your bidding, but mind turns into it, changes into it. It becomes that. You are looking for that change in the mind. So mind must be convinced. Mind, what it is not something which is forced upon mind. That mind accepts and integrates it within itself, and it pursues by its own power. That is something. Shanaihi, shanaihi. That slowly, slowly. Uparamet. Now, uparamet means this is in the form, this verb is like this should be done. In this way, it should be done. That is the tone. Ramet. Ramet means where you should rejoice. Ramana. You are Ramati. This is the form of verb. So where you enjoy, where you find a joy, you stick to it. That is Ramati. So something which is some nice place. It can be nice company. It can be a nice weather, climate, nature, whatever. That you find your mind goes to rest. You enjoy it. You very naturally sing to it. So, uparamet. Now this is not to do that. That is what is said. That mind which is naturally going to find this respite and joy and getting attached into the world, getting slowly and very easily and very naturally mixed into the world, that has been called back. Uparamet. Do not rejoice there. Rejoice here within. Uparamet. To make, it's breaking that habit. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Not there in the world. Not in the matter, but in the spirit. That is what mind has to, is made to first learn, know, learn, understand, and slowly means that mind itself form that will, form that resolve to reside within itself, within the spirit, in search of spirit. So shanai shanaihi uparamet, and then use the word buddhya, that with the help of buddhi, mind, it performs mostly instinctively. It's a slave of habit. That is the nature of the mind. What it is used to, it is just go by that beaten track. What it has been trained, the way it has been trained, what it has been used to, it likes to do repeatedly. It finds respite, joy. I know this path, I can go, I will run. That is the mind does not like to deliberate. I had often earlier times given reference to this book by Daniel Kahneman. The nature, that title of that book is Thinking Fast and Slow. So he points out there are these two faculties, a way human being responds to whatever stimuli he comes across. So one is thinking fast, which is naturally instinctive. It goes by the heuristic, what we say, the thumb of rule. So this and this is there, so it means that just go. Not to deliberately calculate that everything is matching the checking all the boxes, like proper methodical calculation of it. That is deliberate thinking. That is because it demands higher resources. It is hard work. It is uncomfortable for the mind. Jumping easily, coming to a conclusion, it is easier, it is nicer. You feel relieved. If your mind cannot reach a conclusion, it feels very suffocated, very stuffy. It like to reach to a conclusion immediately. So faster way of thinking, which is naturally not all the time accurate. There is an interview I like this joke always. So, interviewer is asking the candidate, so what is your strength? He said, I am very quick at calculations. So he says 13 into 9. He says 45. He says that is not even close. He said I said I am quick. I didn't say I was accurate. So so his calculations, he's quick at calculating. He didn't say he's correct or right or accurate at calculating. So quicker way, it has its drawbacks. It has its shortcoming. It is not all the time perfect. Thinking slow is deliberate. It demands lot of resources. It is cumbersome, and mind generally try to avoid it. So this is the second way which buddhi can do. Thinking slow, going by the data. And this is instinctive. Thinking fast, which is the way of the mind, going by the heuristics, going by the thumb of the rule. So there are some markers, and okay, so it looks like it, so go ahead. So maybe when it is refined, it is quite good. It serves a lot of purpose, but not necessarily it can be accurate. So Uparamed, this is with respect to whom or with respect to what this is being said? This is being said with respect to the mind. That shanai shanai, slowly, slowly. Uparamed, call back your mind. That what, like a child is engrossed in playing. So mother says to him, now you have been playing for so long, finish it. Still he will not. So then again after some 15 minutes, now only 5 minutes, you wrap it up, otherwise this thing, that thing, warning. Still he will not. Then again third warning or fourth, like that, depending upon the child or depending upon her mother's this thing or need of the situation. So he is made aware. So slowly that time is coming to an end. And when at one point of time, even if he is not willing, his mother pulls him by his hand, he is less fighting. He is less resistant. If she would have tried at the very first instance, come on, you have played exactly 1 hour, now you have to study. It would have been a terrible situation, lot of sin. He would have put lot of resistance because he didn't get any warning or prep his mind that mother will now come or she will take me. He didn't get time to prepare. Shanai shanai uparamed. And who will actually doing that that role of mending that mind, that slowly come back. Do not get engrossed there. Come back. Find your respite and rejoice here in something else. Who is doing that? Who is passing those instructions? That is called buddhi. In buddhi, that data is filled, but it cannot correlate. It is like, it is steering. It only does not, on its own, cannot move the vehicle. Only your accelerator. When it is pressed, then only vehicle moves. Mind is like that accelerator, ready to go. Doesn't bother what is on the road. That is mind. Mind is like that accelerator. But it has power to move. Steering can only give it a direction. But by its own, it cannot move the vehicle. So mind going fast and buddhi going slow. So buddhi cannot create that ripple, that experience. Mind can, but so mind has to be again and again. But mind has to correlate to buddhi, take it. Otherwise, many times it is simply dead to those instructions. I say something very great thing. Person, there is no effect. Person has no mind to it. He cannot correlate. It does not bring any change, any impression upon that mind. So shanai shanaihi uparamet buddhya. So with the help of buddhi, slowly buddhi, with the help of buddhi, you are trying to convince your mind, slowly uparamet, that you are engrossed there. Come back from there. Come back. come back. So that is what. So buddhi is the instrument. Shanai shanaihi uparamed buddhya. Then dhruti gruhitaya. So this is the another faculty that slowly you are all the time. This is not a successful or self-sustainable situation, that all the time buddhi is watching, all the time buddhi is calling, no, this is wrong, that is not right, you should do this. This kind of nagging does not help, does not bring any positive change in any person. This is not the appropriate situation, this is not an appropriate solution. We do not want. What we want is what is being taught to you, told you, that you should absorb and you should make it own. That at certain point of time you have to stop the play. At certain point of time that that study you have to do. Though you might find it uncomfortable doing mathematics, you must do, otherwise it will become a constantly liability to you. If it is difficult and you do not face it. If it is difficult, you must face it more and bring the mastery over it, find a joy in it. You have to work your mind in that direction if it is difficult. But natural tendency of the mind is like that child. What is easier, it will run in that direction. So what we want, it is not only the nagging of the buddhi, it should form that dharana. And the like buddhi, the buddh means to know. Buddh means to know. And dhru dhatu means to hold. To hold. And with which the name or this noun comes, that is called as dharana. So there is a difference to know and to form the concept. It is something, a deeper faculty. Then all the time it is not like a set of instructions he is remembering. Now the behavior become instinctive. Suppose we are using a instrument like a camera. So there are a set of instructions. So this button is there. If this is this thing, then change like this, then change like that, and then you use this button, then use this setting, etc. Lot of this one. Slowly, the person who has once been trained, what happens? It becomes his. He does not now think in this format. Oh, there is a darker light, so I have to change here a setting. So immediately his fingers move as if it goes like what we say, like a muscle memory. It goes deeper into that person. Like some people drive the car. When first some people is learning to play piano or tabla. You know, tabla player, when the singer is changing its rhythm, he is not only thinking dha, dhi, dhe, etc. Whatever is the how they call it, their rhythm, their tala. His fingers moves as what he hears. So that process of that calculation, it goes into somewhat subliminal, in subconscious. It is not deliberate almost. So processing time is reduced. He started with slow, with deliberate training his fingers, his thinking, judging that, and playing an appropriate tala. Now that process has become somewhat less monitored, less deliberate. Instinctively it flows. So from slow, deliberate work, hard work, it has become a natural progression of that. It is like it has become a workflow for that person. So from buddhi, it goes to the level of dhruti. So shanai shanai uparamed buddhya, that mana dhruti gruhitaya, it should be hold, that mind should be hold with the help of that dhruti. What we are doing, what we are looking at, that it has developed some sense. Buddhi will tell him that there is no permanent joy. What you are looking, that is within, that person is trying to understand, that mind is trying to understand, but with the case of dhruti, he has formed the idea. As soon as he says that, he develops the sense. It brings some spark, it brings some light into the heart of that person. Whenever we say that, dharana is somewhat deeper. So, shanaihi uparamed buddhya, that mind is made to come back, uparamed, from that its state of engrossed into the affairs of the world, affairs of everything else in the matter, and ask to come back and behold that mind with the help of dhruti. Dharana dhruti gruhitaya. This is the first line. And then atma sanstham. What to do of this mind? Atma sanstham manah krutva. That mind is placed in Atman, in yourself only. Atma sanstham manah krutva. After bringing that such mind with the help of buddhi, withhold that mind with the help of dharana, and then place that mind within yourself only. Atma sanstham mana krutva. And then what is said? Na kinchit api chintayet. Not to think of anything else. थोड़ा पानी यहाँ पे भी होगा या फिर वहां से भी देखो, उसको सकाराम को मांग लो. Na kinchit api chintayet. That now do not think anymore else. That mind is so subdued, using even these words, using even this phrase, that not to think of anything else. Now it is as if appears we are past this state of thinking long back, because that mind is कुछ है उसमें, पानी है देखो, क्योंकि उसमें भी खत्म हो गया था. बस ठीक. So when that mind is without any desires, senses are subdued, mind is slowly brought back from the world, from the material, withhold, placed within itself, within yourself, and now do not think of anything else. Now this is the state of meditation. So what does this signify? So now, to understand meditation as the subject which I had brought earlier. So what is meditation? What is the very essence, very core of meditation? What is meditation like? What state of mind or functioning can be termed as meditation? Whether it is kriya or not. Whether it is kriya or anubhava only. Whether it is only experience and there is no action. What is it? I had earlier said that it is a state of effortlessness. When kriya and anubhav, it is as if in equilibrium. That your rajas and tamas is perfectly balanced. Sattva is it at high, your mind is light. That you are not sloppy, tamas is not set in. This is various ways I have put this idea of meditation earlier. So what we are looking at generally, and why meditation is very distinctly different from all the other processes of life. I had said this, that in every other way your mind is traveling away from itself, away from yourself, into the world through the windows of the senses, etc., seeking sensory data, etc. So what is happening here? So it is in the meditation, it has been asked to focus upon itself. So focus upon itself, and almost it is made not to move, to hold still at all, do not function. Your senses are not asked to be, they are asked to remain quiet. Your chitta, it is also not to not to function. Do not throw anything else. Your buddhi, etc. When there is no sankalpa vikalpa, there is no buddhi, nothing to decide over. So everything is quiet. Nothing is happening on the screen. Nothing is happening on that TV. So what are we looking at? Now understand this, that mind, along with all other three faculties, chitta buddhi and ahankara. Chitta, mana, that is mind. Mana, chitta, buddhi, ahankara. These are four. One as well as four. So it is called as antakarana chatushtay, because it functions as four. Or you can say those are the four faculties wrapped into one. So, and this is called as antakarana. Anta, that is inner. Karana, that is like upakarana, like instrument, like appliance. It's an instrument, inner instrument. Inner instrument to what? Inner instrument to what? It is antakarana, alright. Antakarana instrument. It is what sort of instrument? For what it is to be used? For what it is to be used? It is used for perception. It is used for perception, especially of the world, of the sensory. Outside or within, even within there is a world, because it is not like that world only exists when something is brought from outside by the senses. Even in the absence of that, when you are dreaming, when you are not engaging, there is the data your mind can play with. That stuff can throw memories, your chitta, which is repository, which can throw the previous data. Your mind can engage with it. There is the inner world, what we call as manorajyam. Manorajyam. So, to understand, to know, to interact with this, we require an instrument. Now, we means who? There is another this question. Who needs this instrument? Who needs this instrument? So, this is the instrument someone is using to interact with this world, to know, understand this world, to deal with this world, to process this data. Who is using that? Ego is a part of that instrument. Chitta, buddhi, ahankara. Mana, chitta, buddhi, ahankara. Among the four, there is one is ego. Ahankara. That is ego. So it's an instrument. Ego is an instrument. Ego is not you. Somebody is using ego to interact and to pursue the world. That is this Atman. That is this Atman. That's what you are. When we say I or we refer to that principle which uses this present, this data. This instrument is used to interact with this everything else which presents this data, processes all this data. Atman knows through it. Atman knows through it. So, your antakarana chatushtaya, all these faculties, four faculties of mind, intellect, this repository of previous impressions, that is chitta, and your ego, ahankara. They are the instrument of knowing, of pragya. They are the instrument of knowing, interacting, etc. So, this knowledge, whatever knowledge we get, with the help of this instrument. So, this knowledge is always, whenever we are trying to know something, Atman is trying to know something, with the help of mind including all these faculties, with the help of mind, it is, we can say that this is intermediated. It is looked through the lenses of the mind. It is looked through. That's how the external data is processed through mind as your mind is trained. If your mind is not trained in that particular way, a person will process a similar data a different way, because their inner instruments are they are trained, they are designed, they are tailored, they are shaped in a different way. They have different tinges. They have different texture. So they gives the similar input, it gives rise to different output. Something is a joke for an Indian person, it might be very rude for a Japanese person. Their sense of perceiving something their minds are trained differently. A similar kind of gesture, it might appear completely different for two people. So, the instrument we are trying to know, we are trying to interact with the reality, we are trying to approach the reality, and this is the mediator. This instrument is the mediator. And when we look for the meditation, what we are looking at, the primary purpose of meditation is, and that's how we understand what meditation is. The primary purpose of meditation is to know the reality without any intermediary as it is. To have the first-hand experience without any intermediaries. That is what is called as aparoksha anubhuti. That is what is called as aparoksha anubhuti. That is why we are going into the meditation, which is the primary purpose of meditation. And when we say we do not want the intermediary of the mind or this antakarana chatushtaya, that's why all our efforts are pointed in this direction, to shut that instrument down. That you are asking why the TV is off. That, father, there is a nice sunlight outside. Please look through the window. You are not looking. There your daughter has come from far off to meet you. Look at her. She is sitting. You are looking at the TV. So that's why TV has been shut down. That's why it has been put off. That you see the reality face to face without the intermediary of the mind, without the interpretation of the mind. The interpretation of the mind of the reality of the interpretation of the reality through the mind is the world experience. Without it is the reality itself as it is, not interpreted by the mind. To have that experience, that's why we say that indriyas are subdued, senses are subdued, mind, it stopped, na kinchidapi chintayet, no sankalpa vikalpa, no buddhi, no chitta, nothing. So all four faculties are subdued, and we let the reality reflect in its own glory, express in its own glory, to have the experience of the self. And who will have this experience of the self? The self itself. So, as Sri Ramakrishna is to put it, that is the experience of consciousness by consciousness itself. Bodhe, bodh. This is the word he has used. Bodh, that is the consciousness. The experience of reality in reality itself. There is no intermediary. That's why, so mind, so what is meditation? So that's why meditation is that state of the mind. When with this approach, your mind cannot be absolutely blank. When it will become absolutely zero, absolutely blank, that is called as manonasha. That is called as manonasha. In that manonasha, when that is achieved, perfectly that is achieved, what happens? The reality is full blown, glaring in your face. progressing anything in that direction, what is happened, what is been asked, how to approach the manonasha, the death of the mind, how to approach that. You shut down all you have to narrow down, because mind's natural tendency is to become multifarious. You trained it to narrow down, narrow down, and you ask to hold on to just one point. And when that is achieved, that is called as the meditation. Just hold on to one point. When you become successful, that is called as savikalpa samadhi. Even when that point dies down and there is no ego, no limited identity, there is no identification with any limitations, then you have truly turned into infinite. That is knowing reality in reality itself. That is the goal towards which meditation is taking us, for which we undertake meditation. And what meditation is, that's why it shuts down everything else but one, say, vritti, or is in a flow. Like there is a movie you are seeing, there are a number of films, you just stop it and hold on to one image. So movie is a succession of thousands of images. You stop it, hold on to one, you stick it, that's it. That process is known as meditation. That state is known as meditation. It is experience as well as there is activity, there is deliberate, there is effort. So kriya and anubhava, this both, it comes to a perfect balance in that state. That slowly when mind learns to taste, to get the taste of this state of mind, then it understands that slowly mind complies, it learns to cooperate. And when Atman starts to ooze out that the nectar, that peace, that bliss from within, that outside whatever the joy and pleasures you draw through the senses and mind, it will become dim, insipid in its comparison. That is what we are all trying to have, that point, trying to taste that the bliss of that state of mind, what we call as meditation. Once you know that, and then slowly mind knows what to look for when we say meditation. To stop that and enjoy and just wait to let that nectar flow in and flood your mind. That is meditation we look for. This has to be understood if we are trying to practice the meditation. So all other processes, they are all aimed at in this direction, to come to this point, to achieve this in this process. That's what we call as meditation. So we are trying to concentrate our mind, but the state of meditation aims at this state. That is to be understood. Na kinchit api chintayet. That is the meaning. So we take a break here. We will continue this chapter from the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.